Man, I miss some of those cold opens. We're going to have to do some more of those at some point. Welcome, everybody, to episode 215 of Standing Out, a podcast about sales, marketing, and leadership. I'm Trey Griggs, your host, founder, and CEO of Beta Consulting Group. We're excited to have you with us today. Hope that you are in the middle of a fabulous week and doing some great things out there. We got a great lineup of shows coming up for you here on Standing Out and on Word on the Street. Today, we got a great episode with our man down in Chattanooga. We'll get to him here in just a little bit. And then on Thursday, we got Edge Logistics on the show. We got both Pam and Molly hitting the show, and we might have a little special appearance and a little special edition of Farby Friday. So super excited about that. And of course, on Word on the Street on this Friday at noon Central, every Friday, as you know, with the Street Crew. By the way, last week's show, absolute killer. The ladies dominated. Jennifer Carpenter-Romaine hosted that. This week, we got another incredible woman in the industry, Pam Simon. She is with Connective. This is the organization that put on the Manifest conference in Vegas. That was an absolute sellout and a rock star show. And so we're going to talk about that, what they're looking forward to in 2024. It's just going to be a great time. So make sure you set your schedule for noon Central on Friday for the Word on the Street. All right, now listen, our guest today, he has been making some waves down in Chattanooga, in Freight Alley, as they say, doing some great work. And we're excited to have him on the show today to talk about how he got his nickname, Hot Tub. Please welcome to the show from Veritas International, Dustin Hot Tub Blevins. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm all right. How about yourself, sir?
That's a good song, man. I like that song, Hammer. That's a good
Yes,
walk-up
sir.
tune, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I listen to it every day.
It almost throws me back to like late 90s, early 2000s, kind of like an Incubus vibe. Some other those types. I mean, it's got a good tune to it. So I always love good walk-up music. I can tell when the show's going to be good if the guest picks a good walk-up song. So well done, my friend. All right. So Dustin, great to have you on the show, man. Take a moment to tell everybody a little about yourself and about Veritas International.
I've been in logistics in Chattanooga for the past 4 years. Before that, I was in the restaurant industry. I was one of the managers at a local German restaurant. We had a saying that logistics is where every restaurant person goes to die, and here I am. But I've been in Chattanooga for almost 10 years now. Love the local scene, love the people. Would mind if, not everybody moved here every day, but outside of that, very excited for the opportunity over at Veritas International. A couple like-minded individuals and a shipper that just got tired of all the, honestly, trash that was out there in the market, all the stuff they had to sift through just to have a decent supply chain process. They reached out to us. We did some work for them. After 6 months with them, we went live, and it's been all hands on deck ever since.
Well, that's a good proof of concept to have that experience and to make sure that what you guys do work and that you're really providing value. But before we talk about that, I got to back up a minute. So you're in the restaurant business, which really is the feeder program for logistics. I mean, let's just be honest. If you're a bartender or server, there's a good chance you're going to be in logistics. Probably an 85% chance you're going to end up in logistics at some point. What was your story? How did you get into logistics from the restaurant industry?
Well, when I first moved to Chattanooga, I sold beer. I was a beer salesman. I was just that guy.
Okay, explain this because you have like, at sporting events, beer salesmen, you see the beer trucks kind of going around. What do you mean a beer salesman? Were you going to restaurants and basically saying, hey, buy some Busch Light, buy some Budweiser? Like,
yes.
Were you going to parties and like hand out cake? What were you doing?
So I was an on-premise salesperson. I would go out to restaurants around downtown Chattanooga and some other places scattered around Chattanooga. I would sell them beer. I'd promote events. I'd show up to events, buy everybody drinks, promote the brand.
You were the guy everybody wanted to see. So,
right.
They went somewhere and Dustin was there. They said, okay, this is going to be a good event.
Yeah. I left a brief job bartending. The only reason why I got that job is I did a promotional video for a bar I was working at, and I held a half barrel above my head, and it weighs 165 pounds. And the guy was like, well, hell, does he want a job? And I got that job. That company got bought out, and one of my main customers, the German restaurant, was just like, well, if you ever decide to leave, we'd love to have you over here. I didn't care for the corporate vibe of the new beer company, so I decided to pull it and go back into the restaurant.
Nice. Holding a beer jug over your head, finding a way to standing out. That's what we're all about here on the show. And you also have something else that kind of makes you stand out a little bit, and that's your nickname. So I saw this online, and I'm like, this guy's got some cojones to have this on his link tree. So what that actually looked like. So tell me real quick about the story. How did you get the name Hot Tub Blevins? Where'd that come from?
Well, there's actually two stories behind it. We call it the legend of Hot Tub. It happened when I was 16. The first story, and usually the one I end up telling folks, I had a T-shirt that said "Hot Tub Lifeguard." If you ever watched that famous SNL skit,
Yes.
and one of my coaches ended up calling me Hot Tub based off just the T-shirt. And then the second story, the little bit more scrolled away story that I don't tell many people is I was actually caught in a hot tub one time with a girlfriend of mine at the time. And, both those stories made the rounds. People
They
get
circulate.
good laughs out of
Right,
them.
right.
Yeah. At one point, right before I moved to Chattanooga, I'm not sure who, I never found out, but someone painted "I love hot tub" on a big wall in Chattanooga. And I was very grateful for that.
That's nice. Have you ever used the nickname to somehow get like preferential treatment somewhere? Have you gotten any guest appearances because of the nickname? I'm just curious.
Yes. One, being in sales, as long as I have been, even in the restaurant industry, people get lost in translation. Faces get lost in translation when Hot Tub always stands out.
Yeah, for sure. Do you ever show up to a sales call? Somebody's looked at your LinkedIn profile and said, "Tell me about Hot Tub." Like,
I do. That happens. That happens actually all the time. And what I usually tell them is, I will tell you the full story once we presented you with some solutions and rates, and you say yes. It always keeps them coming back.
Yeah, get them. Just dangle that carrot out there for them to think about. I love it. That's awesome. All right, so let's talk about your journey in logistics. So you got into transportation logistics. There's something about it that no matter who you work for or what you do, it's really hard to get out. It's such a good industry. What was your first impression in logistics industry? What do you love about it? I mean, what led you to go, man, I'm going to start Veritas and build this thing in this industry?
Well, coming from the beer sales, coming from the restaurant industry, I've always loved customer service as a whole. Some parts aren't as glamorous as others. When I first got into logistics, I love the aspect of customer service. I love being able to take care of stuff and, sort of be that middleman between customers and carriers and getting stuff taken care of. I got very fortunate early on. I worked for one of those companies that had some mandated call metrics. So doing 80, 90 outbound calls a day, I landed some business pretty quick. And before I knew it, I had a serious amount of volume moving car parts. And I was like, well, this is just the coolest thing in the world. My name's now associated with car parts. And my name's now associated with a place that's very special to me down there in Birmingham, Alabama. And I couldn't help but get enough of it. So I really, really focused in on that and have been primarily auto parts since then.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Very cool. What is it about auto parts that you enjoy? Obviously there's, speed to getting them into the plant, for that processing on the line. But what is it about that gets you pretty excited about that?
A lot of it has to be very, very time conscious.
Yeah.
I've loved finding those solutions last minute, getting something in before a line goes down and someone gets charged $10,000 a minute. I absolutely love just that feeling. I mean, people relate it to like fishing and hunting, and you just get that feeling. You just got the one, and it's the same way in trucking.
Yeah. Have you got any good swag from your auto parts clients, like a gold-plated disc brake or something cool like that?
I've got a few of those on my list. Actually, one of my customers gave out a vehicle last year, and I had told him, I said, "Listen, if you're giving it away to needy folks, I'm a needy folks.
Exactly.
I would very much love a vehicle."
Was it a new vehicle? Was it a good vehicle, or what was
it? It was one of their new electronic vehicles. They had just started an EV line and started growing that. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. I'm already moving the airbags, the brakes, the doors, the trunks, literally everything for you. Just send it all one to my house, and I'll take care of it.
Yeah, we'll knock it out. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting. So you got in, you liked auto parts, and that kind of kept you into it. Have you ever gone on a sales call and had a little Tommy Boy action? Please tell me you know that.
Chris Farley ran so I could walk. I probably shouldn't have been watching his movies at my young age, but I definitely was. And I definitely think that he's an inspiration to a lot of folks out there, myself included. He's one of my favorites.
Some great movies out there, Tommy Boy and Black Sheep, some really classics out there that some people don't even know we're talking about with Black Sheep. That's, if you're a real Chris Farley fan, you might know Black Sheep, but otherwise Tommy Boy is kind of what most people know. So let's talk about your cold calling days for a minute. I always like to talk about this. It's pretty easy to find somebody or to recognize somebody who either did door-to-door sales or who did cold calling, for a point in their career. What did you find to really work when you were doing cold calling? What worked when you're reaching somebody for the first time, trying to get their attention and just trying to get an opportunity to keep talking?
Well, so for the longest time, very, very early on, I struggled understanding what we sold as a third-party logistics company. So I got into the idea of I was just selling myself. So again, I was leaning heavily on the fact that I'm Hot Tub. I was a 24/7 point of contact. I didn't care to get up in the middle of the night, and a lot of those customers that I was going after needed that. So it was really that. It was just, hey, here's my cell phone. Don't call the office. Don't email me. You call me. You text me. Everything's going to get taken care of. And that's what I've been leaning on ever since.
Yeah. Cold calling is an art. Like you have to find a way to get somebody to actually want to stay on the phone, which is always challenging. Got to get them laughing. That's what I always felt when I was doing door to door. If I could get the gatekeeper laughing, I had half a shot. I had a shot to get in there. And so finding a way to get in there and make love. I remember one story in particular when I was doing door to door, because do you ever do door to door or just cold calling?
So I've never done door to door, but I was for a brief time one of those terrible people you would see in a Walmart that sold DirecTV.
Oh yeah. So okay, you're with a sales and marketing firm, and you were with I know we were in the same organization. Yeah, I just did Quill, and you just did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we know what I'm talking about. We won't name the main company that's part of that. But anyway, so one thing I learned was this: when I was doing Quill door to door, I would walk into a business, and oftentimes they had a no solicitation sign in the window. And in fact, I would always kind of be afraid of it. But I had a buddy of mine who was one of my trainers. He's like, no, we're going in. We're going in. Like, he was so confident. We're going in. So we walk in there, and of course the woman says, hey boys, there's a no solicitation sign right there. No, thank you. And this guy, just as cool as ever, just said, I saw it out there, but it looked kind of old. You guys had that for a while? Listen, hey, we sell new ones. They're bigger. Going to keep guys like us here. We're going to replace that one. We'll go ahead and get that started for you today. What else do you guys need around here? And she kind of smiled. She laughed, and we ended up getting the sale. And I was like, I never even gone in this door because I was afraid of that stupid no solicitation sign. So from that day forward, I learned two things. One, no solicitation doesn't always mean what it means. And two, if you can make somebody laugh, you got a shot, especially in sales. So, cold calling is always a challenge.
That's way smarter than me. I used to just send edible arrangements and pizzas and stuff like that.
You can bring food. That's another way to do it. Bring something, anything to make their day better. Make them smile is kind of what I found works. Cold calling is harder because you can't see them face to face. You got to be more creative about it. But I imagine with the name Hot Tub, you were able to get somebody's attention pretty quickly when it came to that. So
it's either they say yes to working with me, or they sign some papers and have the police serve me with a do not disturb.
One of the two is going to happen. It's no big deal. Talk about Veritas, about starting the company. That's not an easy thing to do. Starting a business in general is just not easy. It doesn't matter what people say. It's risky. It's scary. It's exciting. There's a lot of questions to answer. What was it about? You had a limited experience in logistics. You had a career before that, but a limited experience in logistics. What was it that made you go, man, I think I can just do this on my own?
God, we would be here all day if I listed all the reasons. But essentially, I was looking for something that meant more to me when I left my first logistics job. I just kept being let down by these companies. And that was on the employee side. I can only imagine how their customers actually felt when they were let down. So I really took that to heart. And I got approached last year about possibly opening up Veritas, and we sat down and we talked about it. And again, we were very fortunate. We had a shipper reach out to us, ask us to do some consulting. After 6 months with them, we were able to turn around and say, "Hey, this works so well here. Let's take this external and apply everything that we've done in the past 6 months to a outward business." And it's been really fortunate, very, very fortunate, but it's been really good so far. We kind of focused everything on three ingredients to success. One, we just wanted to treat everybody with respect. Our customers, our carriers, our employees. Something that we were very passionate about is just the way employees were treated in the industry. People, you see them every day talking about it on LinkedIn. You can't scroll too far without having to read a post about it. We also really promoted transparency. Something that got me very far very quickly was my customers knew how much money I was making every single load. So it wasn't really a question for them to turn around and say, "Hey, you have 16 loads today, go get it." And they knew exactly how much money they were going to get invoiced. They knew exactly everything. And so getting with a company that really promotes that and really pushes that and has seen a very great success rate with it so far. People have really, really latched onto that because the past 2 years, you could basically charge whatever you wanted to and just say, "Oh, COVID, sorry."
Right.
A lot of shippers would pay it. Well, we've absolutely shocked several companies with the difference in pricing. And we don't want to be just a number. We actually want to provide the value to there as well. But just pure numbers alone, it is amazing what people are continuously right now paying for containers, for trucks, everything.
Yeah. Well, from the down the line, starting with carriers, everybody wants to hold on to those prices as long as they can.
That's for sure.
And it's understandable why they want to do that. But going back to you starting Veritas, it kind of sounds like we had a similar experience. And that is, at some point, I just realized I'm just not a really good employee. I shouldn't be an employee anymore. I should do my own thing. And once you realize that, and once you have a vision for what you want to do, it's just a matter of having the courage to start. And that's really what it takes. And obviously having that client that allowed you to do some consulting and test the waters out and see how it worked, that certainly does help. And once you have that proof of concept, it sounds like it's gone really, really well. So,
and then on top of that, the third and final thing, what we wanted to do is hire only experienced people. As we mentioned earlier, the restaurant industry feeds logistics companies, more so in Chattanooga. I know, I would never say the company's name, but I know at one point, like some CEOs and some EVPs weren't allowed to hire out of certain restaurants anymore because they had took all their staff.
They couldn't even go in to eat, maybe.
Yeah, they couldn't even go in to eat. Yeah. And, I started out of restaurants. I absolutely do not want to knock people who come from restaurants. They work just as hard as everybody,
it's a great
especially in that field.
If they're good.
But we don't want to be the people who goes out to a customer and says, "Trust us with your business. By the way, here's your account manager. They just got off the training floor. They were serving at Chili's last week. So good luck." We absolutely don't want to be those people. We think that creates a super high turnover rate, not just for employees, but for customers. So we really focus on, transparency, respect for everybody, and having a really solid, heavy experienced team.
Yeah, I think it's important. It's important to have self-awareness and know who you guys are. And it sounds like you guys are wanting to spend more time servicing customers and less time on training. I mean, training is really important if you hire people. As long as you know that's who you are and you have a good training program, that can work just fine. But if you know that that's not who you are and who you want to be, then you hire people that know what they're doing. And they're going to cost a little bit more, but you're also going to have less training time and they'll be up and running a lot faster. So kudos to you guys for knowing who you are and sticking to that. I think that it's good to have that self-awareness. That's for sure. So, all right, we got to pause for a second because every day we like to have a little fun around here. We like to take a look at the National Day and celebrate that. It's always kind of fun. Some are silly, some are really cool. We had President's Day recently. We got Easter coming up. We got other things like that coming up as well. Do you know what today's National Day is?
As a resident fat kid, I believe it's National Cereal Day.
It might be. Oh, it is. Look, it is National Cereal Day. Look at that. Man, that's impressive. You might be the first guest who actually guessed it correctly outside of a holiday. So obviously President's Day or Valentine's Day doesn't
Oh,
count.
yeah.
But you might be the first one who actually guessed it correct coming out. So I have to ask then, okay, what's your cereal of choice? What is your cereal of choice?
Well, I get a little love and hate for this. I love cereal. I love cereal in almost all formats. I tend to pick
Don't discriminate.
on non-sugary kinds. I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Reese Puffs. That's some stuff from my child.
Oh yeah.
Captain Crunch with crunch berries. But if I'm going to pick right now a bowl of cereal, and I usually eat out of like a salad bowl with a big serving spoon, it's probably going to be Honey Bunches of Oats.
Really?
With some chopped up bananas, or basically an entire box of Raisin Bran.
So you're the kind of guy who's turned cereal really into a whole meal, not just a bowl, but like a whole meal. That's interesting. Yeah. So Honey Bunches of Oats or Raisin Bran. So you've kind of gone that path with a little bit of fruit mixed in. So it's add a little health to it. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm a cereal guy too, and I don't really discriminate. I like just about every one of them, especially the sugary ones, but I try to stay away from them for the most part. I've really gotten into Special K red berries.
Oh, nice.
That's one I've gotten into. I like that one quite a bit. It's got a little bit of that fruity flavor to it. You don't feel as bad about it. But if we're going for a non-healthy cereal, what's like your favorite, your go-to non-healthy?
If I'm going non-healthy cereal, I think I have to go with just a national favorite and go Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That's a good one. That is.
I want to love Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles, but they're just too flimsy for me. I'm also super weird about cereal. I'll only pour a little bit of milk in there, mix it up really fast, then drink the milk, and still eat the crunchy cereal.
You like the crunch, yeah. I'm with you on that. I do like Cocoa Pebbles. I do like those because the chocolate milk at the end. Yeah, the chocolate milk you get at the end. But if I had to pick mine's actually seasonal around here in St. Louis. Believe it or not, this cereal only comes around like once or twice a year. And in my local grocery store, they leave it on the pallet because it's like they want you to know it's just seasonal. It's Count Chocula. Count Chocula in my store only comes around once or twice a year. And when it comes, I buy 3 or 4 boxes of it at a time. That scarcity mentality. It's like I can't get this every time. I got to buy a bunch of boxes of it. That's my go-to is Count Chocula. My favorite one. Chocolate with brand. Chocolate marshmallows. It's a good solid brand. So
good. At one point in time, I was that person who bought an entire bag of the Lucky Charms marshmallows. And it would like pour a little Lucky Charms and then like a scoop of marshmallows on top of it for good helping. Yeah.
My youngest daughter eats all the marshmallows. So if you wait too long, you end up just getting no charms. Just whatever the other thing is. It's in Lucky Charms. Whatever it is, that's kind of what you. So it's National Cereal Day, everybody. Make sure you go out and have a bowl of cereal today. I actually finished off the Reese's. We had some Reese's Puffs today as well. I finished those off today as well. So
nice.
Enjoy National Cereal Day, everybody. That'll be a good day to grab some cereal and not have to give a reason, not have to justify it. All right. We also like to have a random question of the day. Now I prepped you a little bit beforehand. This is a really random thing. I have no idea what it is. We let our producers come up with this every day. It could be funny, could be serious, could be a good question, could be a dud. Let's spin the wheel and let's find out what is today random question. Oh, it's not a wheel. It's a banner. That's what I know. All right. What villain would make the biggest therapist? What villain would make the best therapist? What villain makes the best therapist? Oh, you like villains? Are you into movies and villains and that kind of stuff? I've got
very much so. Very much so. I'm not really sure on this one. It would have to be someone who's really good at talking. So who's got a really high charisma score. I can think of a couple. So I'll pick one and go with it and see what happens.
What do you got?
I've got Zemo.
Zemo as one of the best therapists
from Marvel. Yeah, from Marvel Avengers.
Zemo. All right, that's a good pick. I'm going to go old school on you. I'm going to go back a little bit, and I'm going to say from Batman, I'm going to say the Penguin.
Okay.
I'm going to go Penguin because he seems like he's kind of studious in some ways. Sounds like he might be a good listener. I don't know. Might be hard to listen to what he has to say, but he might listen to you. That, or I was going to go that or the Joker. Either of those would be kind of funny. If you walk into a therapy session, you got one of those two sitting in there. I don't know. Could be good.
I thought you were going to say Scar from The Lion King, and all of his answers would be like, "Hey, you should kill your nephew."
Oh, that's
I mean,
that's one-sided, right? It's pretty predictable in that regard. That's true.
yeah,
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 it's funny. I didn't think about the animated ones. I was thinking more just like
yeah.
the real life ones.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have gone from that
If
with
you
one.
went animated, I would probably say Hades from the Hercules movie.
Ooh, yeah, that would be good.
He
Yeah,
was really great. Yeah,
that would be a good one. That's true.
yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point. Good point. All right. Well, that's an interesting question. What villain would make the best therapist? It's kind of an oxymoron, but we'll run with it. See, this you never know. You just never know, Dustin, what you're going to get. But anyways,
Yeah, I mean that's a fun little addition to it.
it is a fun little addition. I got one more fun little thing for you. One question is, since your middle name or nickname is Hot Tub, I have to ask, what is the best movie out there that includes a hot tub? I mean, you have to have seen all of them, I would imagine.
God, I mean, I think the one I'm most associated with is Hot Tub Time Machine.
And why not?
There are several folks in my life and in this world that anytime they see me, they're like, "What's up, Hot Tub Time Machine?" And I came out before the movie. I was Hot Tub before the movie.
Maybe the movie was after you. Maybe
it could have been. It could have been. So I think it'd have to be the original Hot Tub Time Machine, not the second one, even though the second one was pretty wild. Hot Tub Time Machine, yeah, number one.
I like it. So not a movie, but I do remember that there was an SNL skit with Will Ferrell, the hot tub skit with Will Ferrell back in the day. Those are pretty good. Enjoyed those. That was pretty good. But outside of that, I'm not too sure of all the movies. Not sure about that. We should have had a clip from Hot Tub movie today. That's our mistake. That's our bad. We blew that one. I
mean, there's a lot of good clippable moments in there.
There's a lot of good ones in there. Maybe we'll have to come up with one for the highlight of this. That's what we'll have to do. That.
Yeah, none of them have to do with the hot tub. But I mean,
there are some good clips.
There are some good clips from that movie.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right. Okay. Last thing, and then we're going to get you out of here. So, one of the things that we're in right now is trade show season. And we're fully back. Last year we still had a little bit of the pandemic to deal with at the beginning of the year. Second half was a little bit more open. This year it's pretty much wide open. We've had Manifest and RELA and TPM and several of them so far. Are you guys going to trade shows as a freight broker? What's your value in trade shows now? How are you thinking about it now after the pandemic? What's your thoughts on all that?
We think there is still a lot of value in trade shows. I'm not so much. I mean, I would absolutely love to go to a pure on logistics trade show, TPM, food shippers. I think I would lean towards more of the industry specific food shippers, the surfaces trade show, SHOT Show that went on earlier this year. Me personally, I think those would be the best benefit because that's where the shippers are going to show off their products and are more willing to talk about themselves. And that's all you want as a salesperson. You want someone to talk about themselves so you can find something that bothers them that you can help them with.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So, all right, there's two kind of main reasons that people go to trade shows. One is networking, the other is education, learning. There's breakout sessions and things like that. Where do you put the emphasis? Do you emphasize networking more, or do you think education more? Like, how do you think about that when you think about trade shows?
I would think education. I think networking.
Okay.
I think networking is just a part of it, and that's going to happen regardless. I think the main focus you should be there would be to learn something new. Because as we know, with the thousands of brokerages, thousands of shippers out there in the world, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And there's always another perspective. There's always another process. And there's something that you don't think about that could be better than what you have currently.
Yeah, no, it's interesting for you. It's good to hear you say that because I've heard it both ways. That some people are like, you know what, I go there to meet people. That's why I'm there, is to meet people, get business potentially or opportunities or things like that. And then there's others that want to learn something when you're there. So it's good to hear both perspectives. So I was thinking you might go the other way as a sales guy. I wasn't sure. I thought you might go on the networking side.
Well, so I mean, I'm 6'5". I'm about 3 foot wide, and I'm usually one of the more tallest people in the room. So
I always hate guys like you because you can see above the crowd. I'm 5'8".
Most of the time,
I've never seen
I am brought and just told to be quiet. I just sit there. I look pretty or ugly, one of the two. So that's where a lot of my networking gets in. Is I sit there and I'm someone's bodyguard.
Yeah, and you're automatically standing out. People recognize you and see you from a little ways away. See, people don't even know I'm there because I'm so lost in the crowd. I'm so short. It just doesn't work out. So, it's just kind of the way it works. I've got to make my presence known. Well, Dustin, man, listen, it's been great having you on the show. Thank you for being a part of this today. Congrats on all the success at Veritas. Excited for you, and we'll have to have you back out soon. I can't wait to get down to Chattanooga. I got to get down there and see you guys down there.
Yeah, let us know. We have a golf simulator that you could recreate that shot in.
Yeah, we need to do that for sure.
Yeah.
We'll make that happen. Thanks for being part of the show, and we will talk to you real soon.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Everybody out there, thanks so much for watching today. We appreciate having you on the show today. Make sure you come back again on Thursday for the ladies from Edge Logistics, a little special edition of Farby Friday. And until then, have a wonderful afternoon. We'll see you guys again soon on another episode of Standing Out. Take care.